Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Jess Hilarious is out today, and we're asking 800-585-1051 about keeping secrets from your parents. Now, this conversation actually comes from Charlamagne gave somebody donkey today.
Yes, California lawmakers yesterday, they signed in a law that made them the first U.S. state to ban school districts from requiring staff to notify parents of their child's gender identification change. It was a law signed by Gavin Newsom. I disagree with the law, not because of the LGBTQ aspect of it all. I just disagree with encouraging our children to keep secrets from their parents. I feel like anything that you see happen to my child in your classroom, any changes to their emotional, mental, or physical well-being, you should absolutely come and tell me as a parent immediately.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm that child's parent, and you're with that child 8 hours a day at times, right. Sometimes longer than that. Now, don't get it twisted. I do believe if there's something wrong, if there's abuse or something like that, then those secrets need to be held because it's for the child's well-being.
What abuse? Hold on, what you mean?
Like if there's some type of abuse going on in the household and the parents and the teachers trying to figure it out, I agree with making sure that the child's well-being is fine.
Well, if there's abuse going on in the household, it's not like a parent would ever go to a teacher and tell the teacher, "Hey, I'm abusing my child."
No, but if a teacher is like if a child is coming home and saying one of their parents is abusing me or a family member is abusing me,
no, that teacher should tell. If
the teacher has to go through the proper protocol first before they tell their parents to make sure that they're not involved.
I don't even know what that protocol is, but if a child comes to a teacher and says to the teacher, "Hey, my parents are abusing me," I would definitely want that teacher to tell somebody.
Yes, absolutely, the authorities.
Somebody,
or a counselor.
I would want to get that child some help.
But when it comes to anything else with something that's going on with my child, like a gender change or whatever it is, something that's going on with my child physically or mentally, I want to be the first person to call.
I don't care what it is. Anything that is impacting my child's well-being in any way, shape, or form, I should know about. Period. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it to me.
We have Brittany on the line. Brittany, good morning.
Good morning. How are you all?
Hey, we're doing well, Brittany. What's your thoughts?
I feel like it's a generational thing right now. As hard as it is to say that, I kind of agree with it because I feel like the kids these days are getting the most backlash from their parents.
What do you mean? You feel like like the parents are harsh to their children more than the teachers?
More than social media? More than the world? No. I
think a household, especially your parents, should be a safe place, and they should be able to discuss anything with you. That's how you should raise your kids, right? That if anything is going on, good or bad, they should be able to discuss that to you.
It definitely should be. From my experience and from what I see on social media from our generation, we're not very accepting of this new, gender identity and sexual identity, LGBTQ+. My generation, 30, 40-year-olds, we just don't really understand it. So I kind of feel like they're putting that in place to protect the children from the parents that are, going to lock them in the closet for that.
I understand where you're coming from, but I totally disagree. And I don't want us to generalize because social media is not real life. I think anything that happens with my child mentally, physically, emotionally, I want to know about it. And I understand this is about a LGBTQ issue, but I don't like the precedent that it sets where it just tells your child to keep secrets from the parents.
No, but not only that. If they want to identify whatever they want to identify in school, and then when you come home, I have no idea what's going on, that actually hurts the child more because the child can't be free.
You a Ninja Turtle at school. And then you come home, doing kung fu kicks and wanting pizza all the damn time. And I'm trying to figure out what the hell going on.
Yeah, what's with you with this Ninja Turtle stuff?
I'm at school wondering, what y'all teaching my child? That's what I'll be wondering. Why is my child coming home with this bandana mask on, talking about cowabunga?
Yeah. Hello, who's this?
Hi, my name is Light John.
Hey, Light John.
Hi. Hey, how are y'all doing this morning?
Doing good. What's your thought, Light John?
Favorite.
I am on the fence with this law. I'm a licensed therapist in the state of Georgia, and so one of my things is confidentiality. If I have a kid that tells me that they identify as something, I'm not necessarily obligated to tell the parent. Unless something causes harm, like we're talking about suicidal thoughts, self-injurious behavior, then I loop the parents in on that. But identity, I don't have to do that. I do encourage my clients to be honest with their parents, But some of these kids are terrified of their parents' responses, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, but you was a kid once, right? And you're a licensed therapist, and you were a kid once, and you know that a lot of times, a lot of the things that we thought our parents were going to be so upset about, they weren't. They were actually more upset that we didn't tell them about it, that we didn't come to them with it.
Absolutely, I agree with that. But there are some parents who just will not budge.
No, and I understand
I've
that.
seen that in therapy.
And
And
they're
I
just
get that.
terrible
And it
people.
is scary for these kids.
I get that and I understand that, but also like if my kid is going through something where to the point where they want to identify as something else, I think it kind of makes it worse that at school they could be free, but at home they can't be, and especially if a parent has no idea or no understanding what they're going through.
I get that. I definitely get it. I just feel like sometimes parents are not open enough for their kids to feel like they can talk to them, and that's the real issue.
And let me tell you, you're a
Thank you,
therapist, so
John.
you can ask this and you can answer this. And you said something. You said that if you got client confidentiality, but if it's something like suicidal thoughts or a person's hurting themselves, then you want to say something. Isn't that the same thing with this, right? Because if my child is going through something like identifying as another gender, and they're dealing with all types of backlash from all types of other places, and I know nothing about it, how devastated would I be as a parent if my child took their life and I didn't even know anything about it?
Because it could get there.
I couldn't even help them navigate with what they were dealing with because I didn't know.
Absolutely. It could get there, and I think if there is some sort of bullying going on, the parents should be notified about that. But if it's just the gender identity or they want to go by a different pronoun because they're trying to fill out different things, I don't think that has to be said immediately.
So like little John, what's your name? I said Little John. What's your name? How do you pronounce it again?
Lijon.
I mean, because I could imagine if my child took their own life over something based off of something that they told you and I had no idea about, and I found out later on, and I could have tried to help them and try to help them deal with it, I would try to tear that school up because the fact that they didn't tell me where I couldn't make the decision to try to get them extra help
That's right.
or maybe be understanding to them, I would tear that school up.
That's right.
Because that's my child at the end of the day. Thank you for calling.
I don't even know why the school want to take on that kind of responsibility, to be honest with you.
I don't know. 800
And liability.
585-1051. Charlamagne gave Donkey today to who, Charlamagne?
California state lawmakers who Governor Gavin Newsom signed a law yesterday that made California the first U.S. state to ban school districts from requiring staff to notify parents of their child's gender identification change.
All right. Well, we're taking your calls. Do you agree with it? It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. If you're just joining us, well, first of all, Jess Hilarious is out today. But Charlamagne gave Donkey today to who?
California lawmakers, a law got signed yesterday by Gavin Newsom that made them the first U.S. state to ban school districts from requiring staff to notify parents of their child's gender identification change.
All right. And we're asking 800-585-1051. What's your thoughts? We got John on the line. John, good morning.
What's happening, Pippin?
Hey, what's up? What's your thoughts?
Look, I got a different angle on this. I could agree, and I'll tell you why. I can't speak of how white folks do in their home, but I know in black homes, especially with black fathers, we say all the time, yo, I don't do that gay shit. I don't do that gay shit. So if you got a son that's kind of feeling that way and all he hears his father and his friends saying, I don't do that gay shit, but he got to teach that school that he's with all the time, like you said, they're with the teacher most of the time. He has a close relationship, and he feels comfortable telling that teacher that. Of course, he would tell the teacher and not his father because he know his father has always said, we don't do that gay shit. Matter of fact, I heard a rap record on the radio the other day that said, my greatest fear is having a gay son. So I could see a kid not wanting to tell his parents because all he's ever heard is his parents saying, we don't do that gay shit.
Sure,
but
listen, you're doing a lot of generalizations, and it's actually a lot of old school generalizations because I could because I could easily point to somebody like Dwayne Wade and say, look at that brother, and the phenomenal job he's doing with his daughter. You know what I mean? So it's just like things change. Like, we got to start updating. We got to start updating our profiles, man.
And John, let me ask you a question. John, let me ask you a question. You say we don't do that gay-ish. We don't do that gay-ish. But imagine if your son took his life because he couldn't talk to his dad. How would you feel then? Would you still feel like we don't do that gay-ish, or do you care more about your son's feeling and your son's being around?
How would his dad feel knowing that he said that around his son all this time, and his son wasn't comfortable enough to tell him, but he told the teacher. He would feel like shit because he made his son feel that way all his life.
Right,
I agree.
But that's what we have to change as generation. Like we said, we can't be on real get it. We can't be like that.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm just saying I can see it being, not being so against it, because there are kids that got that hard parent that always said, they're not gonna go for that. We're not going for that in our house. But his teacher.
I can tell you was born in the 1900s.
Absolutely.
Like I am.
That's
like I was.
right.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Our generation was different. There's a whole new generation of black fathers out here, bro. They not like our daddies.
That's right. Hello, who's this?
Hey, it's Devon from Jersey. What's up, Envy?
Devon from Jersey. What's up, brother?
Peace, King.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah. So this morning, I actually was listening to y'all this morning, and y'all brought it up earlier. And my fiance, she's a teacher, and she's like, she kind of feels what California is doing, and I'm saying no, because Charlamagne has a point. Like, now we're gonna start a generation of people, kids, lying to us about what's going on, and we can't help them. She's saying basically that there's kids that go home and they don't want to go home because they, you tell your father, you tell your mother that you're this, that, and the third, you're going to get your ass whooped or you're going to possibly killed, the abuse. But I don't feel it.
She's not wrong, but that's the worst case scenario. What I would say to her, because you're gonna need this later when you go home and y'all still debating about it. What I would say to her is, do teachers really want that liability? If they knew this child, had this secret, and this child might be dealing with all type of backlash on social media, this child might be getting bullied. What if this child, God forbid, takes their life, and you as a parent knew nothing about what they were dealing with, but you knew what the teacher knew? Does the teacher really want that liability?
No, not at all.
Exactly. And we both in education, so yeah, I definitely feel what you're saying, but she's looking at. And I get where she's coming from, but you're right, the liability of that.
But not only that, you can't generalize every family. You can't generalize every home. And they can't pick and choose. So if they pass this law, they're not allowed to say it at all. And I don't think that's fair to parents who are understanding, parents who do care about their kids, parents who want to make sure their kids are comfortable and safe and don't have any harm, regardless in the household or out in the world. And if that was my situation with my kids, I would be hurt because I would want to help my son or my daughter as much as possible.
Exactly. So, yeah, love y'all brothers. Yo, I'll be at the car show, MV, but, yeah, I wanted to hear this.
Okay, all right. You said you're a teacher? Where you teach at?
So, so she's in Edison, and I'm in Sparta.
Okay. I will stay on hold because if you got some students that, I know a lot of times I hear from teachers that sometimes students can't afford the show or can't afford the tickets. I want to give you some tickets to make sure that all the kids can go and enjoy themselves.
Appreciate that, Envy.
Hold on, okay?
All right.
Wow. So what's the moral of the story?
The moral of the story for me is, man, I just, don't want us to continue to keep secrets from each other. Like, I really, truly feel like the secrets we keep as a society have done nothing but hurt us. And we don't do ourselves any favors by keeping secrets. And we shouldn't be encouraging kids not to tell things, to their parents. And listen, if you do tell your parents things and, your parents react a certain way depending on what it is, if it's something like gender identity or your sexuality, they just terrible people.
That's right.
And hopefully as a village, you have others to help you navigate through that. But I'm telling you, man, and I think we all learn this as children, there's things that, we thought our parents would be upset about when we came to them with it. Mm-hmm. And they weren't mad at all. They were just mad we didn't tell them.
Correct.
And I tell my kids all the time, man, we can navigate our way through anything. I'll help you get through anything. Just don't lie to me about it and tell me what's going on so I can actually help.
That's right. All right. Now, when we come back, we got the mess. Of course, Jess is out today. We got to talk about two women knocking off the same guy, and they found out when they were pretty much getting dressed for a date.
They should have ran a train on.
What?
That's what they should have did. They should have ran a train on.
But we'll talk about it when we come back. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.